Hello everyone, and welcome to Power Pages Tips. My name is Nicholas Hayduk, and this is tip number 293, Web API Settings. Continuing our series on the Power Pages Web API, in this tip, let's look at the settings we need to configure to enable the Web API. Before we dive into the details, don't forget to subscribe to the Engineered Code YouTube channel for our weekly tips, monthly community calls, and lots of other Power Pages and Power Platform content. If you want to interact with Dataverse data directly from your JavaScript on your Power Pages site, you'll need to enable the Web API site settings. This is done via the Power Pages or Portals Management app. For each table that you want accessible via the Web API, you need to configure two settings. The first is Web API / the table name / enabled. Set this to true to enable the Web API. The second is Web API / the table name / fields. Here, put in a comma-separated list of column names that you want accessible via the Web API. Alternatively, you can put an asterisk here if you want to enable all columns. However, this should only be done while testing. Best practice is to only enable the specific columns that you need. During debugging, you might also find it helpful to set the Web API / error / inner error site setting to true. This will provide additional details in the Web API response if something is going wrong. Don't forget that in addition to these settings, you need to have table permissions configured correctly in order for the Web API to work. In our next tip, we'll look at the JavaScript required to call the Power Pages Web API. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found the Power Pages tip number 293 on Web API settings useful.